Hello Gunners, welcome to another video. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a bit weird. I've been on social media, I've seen the way that Arsenal fans are reacting. It's almost like we lost against Manchester United. So I'm just trying to lift the mood. I've got some good news maybe to potentially talk about from Fabrizio Romano and other sources regarding a left winger. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe. Hit the like as well, it'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, it's a really weird feeling. I don't know about you, let me know down in the comments below. It's almost like we lost against Manchester United. The feeling amongst Arsenal fans is not great whatsoever. I'm getting so much negativity. I'm getting so much anger towards the team. And I feel like people are forgetting it's Old Trafford on game week 1. The hardest fixture, I think, out of every one of the big 6 teams, or the big boys anyway, going for the title. You don't want to be going to Old Trafford because the new signings, the new momentum, the new hunger they've got. And Arsenal have got that out the way and won. We've actually won, guys. We didn't lose that game. And I can get why you want to be frustrated. There were certain things we need to improve on. But the sort of anger I'm seeing is not warranted whatsoever. But anyway, let's sort of talk about the news, talk about the good stuff. And we're going to talk about, firstly, Ademola Lookman. Because Fabrizio Romano says negotiations have broken down between Inter Milan and Ademola Lookman. It's over. Keep an eye on PL because they're now aware of the situation. PL stands for Premier League Clubs. Of course, as always, in the description down below, I'll put all the source and information and where it's from. He says, let's see what happens at Arsenal. They are very happy with the squad they have in terms of age. Lookman isn't the profile they usually sign, but maybe if Trossard decides to leave, that can be an opportunity. So everything, again, is dependent on Leandro Trossard leaving. And there was also reports coming out today, some good reports if you want Trossard to leave and a new winger to come in, that Brentford, Aston Villa, and clubs like this are monitoring the situation and are willing to maybe follow up this interest and make bids. So if we can get Trossard out the door, Ademola Lookman is a player that Arsenal could potentially bring in. And this is from the Fabrizio Romano, so not just some Mickey Mouse source. And I'm not going to lie, I tweeted out, I said Ademola Lookman is a player I really like. Let me know down below, obviously, your thoughts on Ademola Lookman before I just yap on. But he's a player I really like. I think he has some really good fundamentals in terms of going on the outside and the inside. He has a capacity to create separation. So basically, when he's 1v1, he can really create space to take a shot or to create a sort of cross. We've also seen him perform in the big games. Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League final. Real Madrid in Champions League, he was one of the better players on the pitch against really, really good opposition players. So in terms of that, you're getting a player who would be ready to make that next step as well. He's completely done with staying at Atalanta. He's not going to Inter Milan either. So this is the sort of same thing where I said with Gyökeres. You're getting players who mentally are ready to take that next step and want to fight for things. It's kind of funny because Gyökeres and Lookman are sort of cut from the same cloth. I think Lookman is 27 years of age. Gyökeres as well is 27 years of age. So players who had quite slow starts to their career in terms of they had quite a lot of potential. Gyökeres was at Brighton for a reason. Ademola Lookman was somebody who was at the likes of Everton, he was at the likes of Fulham, didn't quite work for him. But these players are now 27 and ready to make impacts at the highest level. So I said on Twitter, 35 to 45 million, I wouldn't mind doing that deal. But I feel like a lot of people have got the sort of profile that Ademola Lookman is completely wrong. He is more of a profile which likes to go in behind, he likes to run, but he's more than capable of receiving ball to feet and dribbling 1v1. So he's basically, imagine Trossard with all the technicals of Trossard, with Martinelli's desire to go in behind and run in behind. That's not a half bad player, is it? I think a lot of people got me wrong on Twitter where I was saying, he's not better than Martinelli. I think for the way that Arsenal play in terms of we need a winger who can create separation, that can go on the outside, on the inside comfortably, Lookman wouldn't be half bad whatsoever, but he wouldn't be of the Leao and Barcola sort of wingers, where I can be like, these guys are level raisers to the max, these guys are the top 2% in their position. He's not that, but he's more than an adequate replacement for Trossard, even better than Trossard, in terms of a more athletic Trossard is what I sort of put out on Twitter. So for me, I wouldn't mind doing that deal whatsoever. I genuinely wouldn't mind doing it because I feel like he, from a mental standpoint, but also in terms of the goals he scored out there in Italy, he scored a lot of goals, and I've already talked about it, a lot of big goals as well. Arsenal need that, and I think we all saw Martinelli's performance, and no offense to Madueke as well, it was a hard game for him to come in. It wasn't to the levels that we want, and we need to go into next season with as much firepower as possible. We cannot afford to leave ourselves short. I'm even shaking my head here. I just can't believe that Arsenal would be willing to go into next season without bringing in another attacker. I think it's suicide. I genuinely believe it's suicide, guys. We haven't got players who improve our situation in the game states we lost last season. So when you're looking at Everton against a low block, Gyökeres doesn't suit a low block. He's fantastic spinning in behind. He's fantastic when he's got space to go into. But in terms of pure box presence, in terms of when it's really crowded, I don't think he's the guy for that. And I'd love to be proved wrong, and this is why we've all got an opinion. But I genuinely believe Gyökeres alone doesn't fix the 0-0s against Everton, the 1-1 against Fulham at Craven Cottage. Those sort of games, I don't think Gyökeres changes the outcome of them. And Madueke is a beautiful 1v1 winger. But if he's not from the right wing, from the left wing, I just don't see enough currently. I can see the vision, the Rafinha vision with Madueke, and Mikel Arteta is probably one of the better managers you could have to mould him into that profile. But if it doesn't work, if he doesn't hit the ground running straight away, we've got a real problem. We genuinely do. You've got a Martinelli who's he's just lost confidence-wise. I mean, my word, I feel sorry for him because this is not a confident Gabriel Martinelli by any stretch of the imagination. You know, he's completely lost that confidence that he's had from the past 2-3 seasons. So you could go into next season with a not confident Martinelli and a Madueke who's adjusting to the way we're playing, adjusting to being a left winger week in, week out. That's not good. It's not good whatsoever. And it gives me opportunity to also talk about, Antoine Semenyo, IndyKaila, hit and miss source, I'm not going to lie. Under his tweet, I was kind of selling to stick to Liverpool news because he's just so hit and miss with stuff. But he says Antoine Semenyo is another player Arsenal may go into negotiations in for this window. And I mean, I just asked myself, if he hadn't scored those 2 goals against Liverpool, would he have tweeted something like that out? But let's put that aside and just talk about Antoine Semenyo. He's a really, really good player, isn't he? I think Antoine Semenyo is top, genuinely top, in terms of what he offers going from a dribbling standpoint, from a carrying standpoint, and from a ball striking standpoint. He has a lot of really, really good traits which will improve Arsenal. But then I asked myself, he should have been who we signed instead of a Madueke if we wanted that profile. Because they're similar in terms of they're better at carrying, they're better in transitional moments, they can impact against low blocks. I feel like someone like Semenyo is a better box presence against low blocks, against mid blocks. But from my point of view, it's too similar profile. You want someone a bit different, a maverick 1v1, a pure dribbler and shot volume taker, as I sort of trip on my words there. And to my mind, it just goes straight to Barcola and Leao every single time. And a lot of people have told me, it's not happening, calm down. But we need the creme de la creme, we genuinely do. If we're going to splash £70 million on someone, if Semenyo's price would be around that, go for Leao, go for Barcola, guys who we can sort of have as proper real difference makers. And that's what I feel in terms of that deal. But if it was to come down to it, Ademola Lookman or Antoine Semenyo, it would be tough. I don't even want to answer that question because I think they're just good players in their own right. They've got really good fundamentals and they would add some nice stuff to Arsenal. But let me know down below, are you team Lookman, are you team Semenyo? If Arsenal do get this sort of winger, left winger in and Trossard leaves, of course that needs to happen first. Who would you pick? Lookman, Semenyo, or maybe even you want to keep Trossard?